We're here at the Palms Playa del Carmen. Saeed Youan joining us. This is kind of an annual epic trip for you. What are you looking forward to in this 10th year here?
Well, this is my seventh year return, and every year for me, it gets better and better. I've done my own label parties here. I've done my own label showcase. I played, with Roger Sanchez last year. This year I have the opportunity to play with Carl Cox at Blue Parrot, so I'm really excited. I've always wanted to play at the Blue Parrot, so I've always done a lot of day events. I've done Mamitas, I've done the Martina Beach, so to do Blue Parrot was really something special for me. I just love the venue. I think it's got a great sound system, so I'm really looking forward to this year. Plus, it being their 10th anniversary, being invited back again to play, so it's in a nutshell, I think it's an amazing event for me to be here every year, starting the year off right.
So you've been here for a lot of the time. You've seen it grow up from sort of a fledgling little event and then started to grow. At what point did it become like the festival to be at every year?
When we came, it was literally just as what BPM stands for, bartenders, producers, musicians. It was literally, that's what it was. So it was just music people, DJs, bartenders that I've known, and to see it grow to just almost like a WMC, it's kind of crazy. It's phenomenal in its own little way. But I think it's great. With everything that's awesome, it's always going to grow. Same thing happened with Ibiza. So people hear about it. They know that it's great music. They know the DJs are coming, and it just it stands out for me because it's the only festival, in my opinion, that stays true to a certain kind of a sound, which is techno, tech house, deep house, more underground, definitely more underground than any other festival that I've played at. And I've done EDC, Ultra, and whatnot. So this, for me, I feel at home, not only because of the music, but of my colleagues and the peers and the people that I run into, just at a restaurant and stuff. So it's kind of interesting to be in that kind of place.
So you're looking forward to this set at Blue Parrot. Is there somewhere that you've played here before that you really like and you encourage a first-timer to make sure you go see?
Well, the interesting thing about BPM, the venues are always changing. So, for example, a couple years back, I played at La Santanera. That new La Santanera wasn't the La Santanera that I played at. I would encourage people to go check it out. I think the new venue is really dope. I think that's nice. Blue Parrot is an amazing spot, and Blue Parrot's been with BPM as long as I've known. It's been there from the get-go. So that's a great venue to check out. Also, check out the small little pop-up parties that BPM does. Those are really cool, like little hotels and whatnot. Some, smaller events or just like DJs will do pop-ups. Those are fun. But definitely, I would say Martina Beach Martina Beach last year was a great venue, right on the water, right on the beach. So that's a cool place to check out.
It seems as though the whole community here, not just the music community, but the people have all really embraced BPM. What do you think it's done for the city itself?
I see it, there's a good and bad in tourism. Obviously, everybody knows that. I think as far as music goes, a place for all of us to kind of congregate and get together. It's a great spot. We can talk about the music that we love. We can talk about the music that we put forth, and also the promoters that I do work with in Mexico. They all come, like Mexico City and whatnot. They all come down here to meet the DJs that they work with too. So it's a great place to meet, just to make business not only for BPM but outside of BPM. For example, I'll probably get gigs from this, doing stuff in Mexico, doing stuff in Cancun, doing stuff in Colombia, because everybody's here from South America. So for me, that's an amazing thing.
How would you compare something like this to, say, Groove Cruise?
This is more underground thing. Well, Groove Cruise actually has gotten a bit more underground. This is more, you can pick more things here. Groove Cruise, you're on a ship, and you've got 3 or 4 spots that you can go to. You can hit different things. You can leave for a day and go snorkeling or hit a cenotes, or you can't do that on Groove Cruise. Groove Cruise, you're on a ship, you're partying. You'll get off at certain islands that is owned by is it Royal Caribbean? I think Carnival or somebody. So you can only party on those certain islands. So that's the different about it. Musically, definitely more DJs at BPM. Groove Cruise has gotten good with actually getting more underground guys this year, so I'm happy to be part of that lineup. I think it's probably one of my favorite lineups on Groove Cruise that I've seen so far.
And when is that date again?
Groove Cruise, this in 2 weeks, so the 21st, January 21st, and so it runs about five days.
Do you get a vacation at all, or is it really in and then out and off to the rest of the year?
With Groove, after I'm done with here, I go do West Palm Beach. From West Palm Beach, straight on Groove Cruise. As soon as I get off of Groove Cruise, I go play Orlando. Then finish Orlando. I don't know what I have in February yet, but I know Ultra is the next big thing. So I'm looking forward to doing Ultra, going back playing with Carl at the Mega Structure. So that should be a fun thing. And we're also putting together a South America tour, hopefully Canada as well. So we're trying to look, kind of expand the market a little bit.
Speaking of Canada, because the show's sort of Canadian focused, what are some of the places that you enjoy playing in Canada?
I love Montreal. I love Toronto. Stereo, I haven't been back in a while, but Stereo is one of my favorite places in Montreal. Toronto, what have I played? I played at Rise, and now I've also played at Nest, which used to be called, I forgot what it was called.
I have a brain fart too
now. But that was a cool spot. I like the booth, the intimacy, the low ceiling. I'm all about like low ceilings too as well. So those are my favorite.
Would you prefer like a festival like this, or kind of a small intimate club, or like the main stage big things? Or they all have their own benefits and drawbacks, I'm assuming. Is there something you sort of still get a little nervous about doing?
I came out of this from doing small rooms. I love the intimacy of a small room. But there's always a different aspect when you're playing a small room, catering to a certain crowd, to a certain sound, than what you can do in a festival. In a festival, you can, go balls to the wall. You can experiment. You can test out new things. For me, in a smaller room, depending on the crowd, I want to really pick my track selection, make something special, because not only you're in front of the people, most of the small rooms, you're right there and the people right there watching you. So you want to be really technical. You want to show the skills, what you can do. In a festival, you can kind of play. I mean, you can test a lot of stuff, but not be so worried about, what's going to happen next, because people are just there to have a good time regardless.
Now, do you have any preference around gear, meaning production or playing? Does it matter to you? Will you play on whatever you can get? You need a little bit more specific to make it sure it's exactly your sound.
I use Tractor. I've been trying to do a switch to Record Box because it's just easier to carry USBs and whatnot, but I just feel at home with Tractor. Like, I can do it with, one eye shut, and if there's an issue with the laptop, I know how to kind of diagnose the whole thing and get it all sorted. But I do want to switch to Record Box and using USBs. It's just easier when you're on the road, especially when you show up to a venue and, like, for example, the mixer is not the right mixer and you want to go right into the mixer with a laptop, and Apple's constantly doing updates. I'm so tired of updates. So it's like you show up to a venue, if the firmware isn't up to date, then you're pretty much screwed. So that's what I got to deal with. But for me, DJing Tractor for right now, and I've always been using Logic for production, so I'm a Logic guy.
And speaking of production, you've got some new material on the way?
Yeah, so I'm working on a follow-up EP with Intech, Carl's label, so that should be coming out this year. I'm also working on an artist album. Artist album is going to be shopped around, obviously, but it's going to be based not only in dance music, it's going to be more of a listening album, so you'll have some down-tempo, some drum and bass, I'm going into meditation music as well, so it's going to have a scope of a lot of sounds. It'll be nice.
And I guess we've just gotten out of 2016, which a lot of people had challenges with the year, into 2017. Do you have any predictions on where you think music will go this year? I mean, we've seen the big EDM bubble in North America burst. There's changes with Ultra where they're sort of going a little deeper, a little darker, a little more focused on the sound similar to what you play and people hear. Do you see anything coming up? And maybe there's a genre or something that you think might break or re-break, or are we really waiting for just something new?
Yeah, I'm actually really excited with the whole resistance that's happening with Ultra. I think it's really cool to bring these kind of artists, that kind of sound to Ultra. Same thing's happening with EDC. You've got a stage now that's catered to the sound that I do. I'm happy to see. I mean, I don't want to sound like the old man, but the EDM bubble is bursting. I hope to continue to see and keep bursting throughout 2017. I just want people to kind of go back to the roots of where this all began, not about throwing stuff to the people or diving off stage or just standing on the whatever the console and jumping up and down. It's about DJing. It's about an art, and the art is right now is being diminished because of people aren't really being respectful to it, and kids that are growing up watching this, not understanding what the art, the craft that goes behind it, the skill that goes behind it, and let alone the craft did go away when we moved away from vinyl. But people need to come back to that. You don't know your future if you don't know your past, and that's the way things. I think the way things go.
And I guess just to wrap up, do you have an artist, a Canadian one if you can, and if not, a non-Canadian artist that you really see as someone coming through, or that maybe has already started to come through, but you think they're going to be even bigger?
Well, on my label, I have Carlo Leo signed to my label, so he's one of my boys. Actually, I've known Carlo way before where you see him now. Like we used, I think the first couple of tracks he sent to me is like, I was like, yo, come out to the gig. Let's say he had that like really chunky groove back in the day. So I'm really happy to see the success he's having. The Junkies are also my boys, so they're on my label as well, and I'm happy to see them doing some work. As far as these are the two guys I keep up, and we get promos ridiculously from Canada. A lot of good guys coming out. I can't get a name in my head because my label manager listens to everything. But if something does come up, I'll definitely let you know. But these are the two guys that stick in my mind right now.
And I guess very quickly on the way out, thank you so much for all the time. And is there something you're looking forward to playing tomorrow night that that's the thing you want to see what happens?
Yeah, I actually did a couple of edits that I'm interested to see the crowd reaction on, and also the 2 new tracks I just signed to Intech, which from what I hear, I think they said Carl played it yesterday. I'm really excited to drop those and see what it sounds like. Like I said, the system in Blue Parrot is amazing, so I kind of want to play it and just run to the dance floor and stand in the middle and see what it sounds like. So I'm excited about that.
Thank you so much for your time. Best of luck, not only now, but the rest of 2017.
Great. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. Hey, what's up? This is Saeed Youan Jan. You're listening to Amplified Radio Presents.